currently the Director of Operations at Translegal Shanghai. I also do consultancy work, and I run workshops on conflict analysis and resolution here. At the same time, I am the Director of Program Design and Evaluation at Strait, where, again, I run workshops on conflict analysis and resolution. It's a true life's calling to share with the world and people that I care about or come to care about ways to deal with conflict and engage with human emotions in such a way that people no longer fear conflict and actually feel that it could possibly even be productive. Uh, the greatest accomplishment, so as a rather optimistic person and open person, I think that's one of the hardest questions I've ever been asked. But uh, I think the greatest accomplishment I've ever had was finding out that I have ability to facilitate workshops. And the accomplishment is not the facilitating of workshops, rather the finding out, the discovery that I have that ability. Um, that accomplishment was when in 2016, when I first facilitated a workshop between Chinese, Taiwanese, and US folks. The realization that I know what they're talking about, that I care deeply and care so much about these people, that I want everybody to be able to express their opinions, their thoughts, uh, to the fullest extent without offending anybody and still allowing space for constructive conversation. I think that's wonderful. That is definitely the greatest accomplishment on my own. I could speak to that a little bit about conflict analysis and resolution. It's if we think about it, a lot of the work that we do in real life is about problem solving. We find a problem, we define it, we identify the problem, we analyze the problem, and we say this is what we see about the problem, and then finally we come up with solutions to solve it. It's basically life is like that as well. Define, analyze, solve. Maybe too logical, but if we go about it like that, it's not going to do too much harm. So conflict analysis and resolution is very similar. We find a problem, we see what's about, and then we try to define through understanding the problem. We talk with people, say what's wrong, tell us more, and then we analyze it. We go far, far beyond the conflict. We think about what are some things that these people aren't telling us. We think about what are some things that these people have forgotten about this conflict. And once we have enough knowledge and the legacy, we come up with solutions and we say, why don't we all sit down and test some theories out? Does this work? Maybe, maybe not. Does one part of a solution work? And does another part of the solution work? And could we combine them together? So that's conflict analysis and resolution in very, very simple terms. Usually it's a little bit more complicated. My childhood dream was to be a garbage collector. No, for real. My childhood dream, because I think it would be so cool to ride on the back of the truck and tell people, give me your trash. So that was for a period of time my dream. But it turns out that my name in Chinese is Mu Qiao, which means peaceful and friendly woodcutter. So it turns out that my name has pretty much defined who I would be one day to work on conflict analysis and resolution. And I had a wonderful opportunity to take part in workshops here and there, and they really inspired me to engage in this field. And I think in the same way, another great accomplishment would be that within these workshops, I don't actually solve the problems, I never do, because it's impossible, it's conflict. But what I do is I inspire people to continue to contribute to one day having this conflict disappear, gone, become a memory, and no longer bother anybody. And that's what I really want to do. I want to keep inspiring people. The path was in 2014. I took part in a workshop also at Strait in Brown University, where I met this wonderful facilitator. At the end of the workshop, after about 40 to 50 hours of yelling, screaming, anger, tension. It's all over at that point after 45 hours. And I, full of gratitude, I asked this facilitator, I say to him, could I please have a hug? He says, of course, I would be happy to give you a hug. So we have a wonderful hug. We share this strong, impactful hug. And immediately I start crying. And I'm not a big crier. I don't like to cry. Well, maybe a little, but not that much. And it was this hug, right after this hug, I felt so much energy, so much positivity, and so much care for the world. And I say to myself, this is something I would like to do. This is something I want. So I look around for good schools in this field, and there aren't many, which I think is a shame. I think more schools need to have this field. I find a couple, I apply to them, and some of them accept me. So I go to George Mason University School for Conflict Analysis and Resolution, which is now renamed the Carter School for Peace. Um, and I studied there for a couple of years. I learned a little bit, some tricks, some theories, a couple of tools, and here I am today. Again, working, trying to spread the idea of principled negotiation, win-win solutions, and conflict analysis and resolution in China, which I think would be a great force for good if everything goes according to plan. So a couple questions there: value as a leader and my leadership style. So one thing I can tell you as a leader within a team, and also depending on the environment, but the team I currently lead right now, I am. I like to think of myself as very disciplined. I hold myself to the highest standard. That if I ask other people to do this, then it means I'm doing it already. I like to think the most important thing is communicating about the smallest things first. If we have time, if time allows, then we take care of the small things first. And that allows us to work in cohesion so that when everything goes wrong, we don't need to talk anymore, we just do it. We just solve the problem. But I think that's about the actual style. But in principle or in value, I think it's about people knowing each other to the point that if something happens, something goes wrong, I immediately know who I should be talking to, who I should be asking help for, and also knowing that as a leader, if I don't have my team, I'm not a leader, and that is so important. That I can ask them to do things, but never tell them to do things, because if they start agreeing with me, then I am the leader of them. There was this one year when I start realizing that I have nothing on my resume, that I've been having too much fun. My resume was a blank piece of paper with my name on it. And in that moment, there was this realization that without a good resume, I can't get into the fun activities or events or internships. But then it's also the internships and fun activities that fill out my resume. So it's kind of stuck. I can't go anywhere without a good resume, but I can't get a good resume to begin with. So what do I do? Um, this is when I need to lower myself. I need to be humble, which I was at the point. I was humbled by the fact that I don't have a good resume, deeply humbled. And I start asking people, or in some cases begging people, to give me opportunities to learn, practice, and have fun. Uh, and that made me realize that my position in life is very important in that whether I have the leverage to do something I want or don't. And then knowing that what I want in life is very ambitious, which is to spread, share, and teach people about conflict analysis and resolution. That means I need a stunning resume, potentially a PhD, which I really don't want to do. But I do need to have a strong resume, background, and leverage to persuade people to listen to me and show people that conflict can be resolved and people can be inspired to continue working on something that they don't see an end to it. And that connects a little bit to COVID, I think. That we need to continue inspiring people. Yes, times are tough, numbers are rising, it goes down and rises again. We see no end. There's no promise that a vaccine will work. And actually, I think some studies are telling us that a vaccine works for only 1 year, and it's going to be a lot of money. But that we shouldn't stop. We shouldn't say let's give up. Let's just let COVID take whoever that COVID will take, and the rest will be fine. That's not how we should go about doing that. We should go about doing that by continuing striving for the work that we've always done, to be resilient, to be strong in face of such obstacles. Number one thing, and this connects to me being romantic, is that human connection is so important, even if it's over World of Warcraft. Just playing with other people, playing, staying positive, having fun, and knowing that having the belief and therefore knowing that this will end and then the next obstacle will come. And as humanity altogether, we will face the next one. That's having faith and having that belief. Um, Another thing I would say to everybody facing COVID and having difficulty is to definitely find something to occupy ourselves and acknowledge that it is something we are doing to occupy ourselves. So everybody with COVID-19 right now, they're saying, I'm going to learn, I'm going to practice my 10K, I'm going to learn French, I'm going to learn English, I'm going to learn how to knit. Everybody's doing something like that. And I think it would be very helpful if we acknowledge that that's something that we're trying to do, learning to do right now is purely for fun. And it's only helping to get us through this. That could actually make it easier, make it more fun, make it. I actually do. I thought about this for a while, and my quote for resilience is this: we should all strive for stronger resilience, but the whole reason that we're striving for more resilience is that we can work for a world where resilience is no longer